Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. I hope you guys had a wonderful evening last night. Back to science. Today in science, we're going to continue with the water cycle. Yesterday, we began to learn about the stages and steps in the water cycle and just getting a general understanding that the water cycle is the journey that the water goes throughout its lifetime. When we think about the word cycle, we know that a cycle is something that just continuously goes. It has no start or no stop point. And that's what the water cycle is. In your videos that you watched yesterday, you begin to learn the various steps and stages of a water cycle. And more importantly, I think there were 4 different steps and stages that you were learning about yesterday, and it was in your assignment as well. Today, we're going to talk about one of those steps, stages, and it's called precipitation. Have you ever heard of precipitation before? I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. When we think about precipitation, precipitation is the water released from clouds in the form of rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow, or hail. So when we think about that, think of states of matter. We talked about that yesterday as well. We have a solid, we have liquid, and we have gas. When we think about rain, sleet, or snow, which state of matter is it? Think about it. Is it liquid? Is it a solid? Or is it a gas? Okay. Most precipitation falls as rain. Okay. If you look at the anchor chart right here on your screen, you see that rain could be a liquid or a solid. Okay. And you can also see that it's part of the water cycle. I'm going to move my screen over so that you can see. Okay. It's one part of the water cycle. I'm going to go ahead and share my anchor chart with you really quickly, boys and girls, so you can get a visual of what it looks like. So I have my anchor charts here. And as you can see, we have the sun, we have clouds, we have a riverbank, and then we have grass here. If we look at the rain droplets, that's precipitation. Okay, so precipitation comes from the clouds and it's released down. Okay, so when we think about precipitation, remember it could be rain, sleet, snow, or hail, and that is also depending on the weather. So if we look at the little anchor chart here, the little dots or specks, that is rain, and it's coming from the clouds. Okay, so rain comes from the clouds, and that's part of the water cycle. Okay. Precipitation forms in the clouds when water vapor condenses into bigger and bigger droplets of water. Okay, so water vapor, think about, is it a solid, liquid, or gas? Okay, the vapor condenses, meaning it comes together, and they form bigger and bigger droplets of water, and then that's when you get rain. This helps water droplets gather together and become large enough to fall to the earth. Okay? If we can go back, boys and girls, in your journal, I would like for you to go ahead and yesterday we did page 16. I'm sorry, page 17. Yesterday you did the water cycle. Today I would like for you to do precipitation. And precipitation is, let me get it right on my camera, water released from the clouds in the form of rain, sleet, snow, or hail. I would like for you to go ahead and put that in your journal. Go ahead and put that in your journal on page 17. So yesterday you did the water cycle. Today you're going to add precipitation. Water released from the clouds in the form of rain, sleet, snow, or hail. On page 16, we left it blank. So today I would like for you to go ahead and start drawing your water cycle. And you can draw this illustration here. You have your sun, you have your clouds, you have some rain, you have a riverbed, and we have some grass area. You can color it green, and a tree and a sun. So boys and girls, I would like for you to put this illustration on page 16. So tomorrow I'll have my illustration here. So this illustration here, the water cycle, you're going to copy the anchor chart. Okay? So just reviewing what we learned thus far with precipitation. The major thing that you need to remember about precipitation is that it comes down in the form of rain, sleet, snow, or hail. And then just remembering that it is a process of the water cycle. So remember, that's the major source of the water cycle. So you're getting the water that's coming down, and now we need to think what's going to happen with that water once it comes down. We're going to learn that tomorrow in our lesson as well with the water cycle. So today we really focused on precipitation. Precipitation, that's what we focused on today. And just to give you another look at it, remember, precipitation is water released from clouds in the form of rain, sleet, snow, or hail. It is the primary connection in the water cycle. Okay? Okay. Today in your Schoology lesson, in your weekly skill activity, you're going to two parts. The first one, you're going to give me 3 examples of precipitation. And then you're also going to answer the second question. What do you think would happen if precipitation was not part of the water cycle? What do you think would happen if precipitation was not part of the water cycle? Remember, boys and girls, I just said that precipitation is the primary connection for the water cycle. So if we were to take that source out, what do you think would happen? What would happen with the water cycle? Would we have a water cycle, or would we have too much water? What do you think? So after today's lesson, you're going to go back to your Schoology folder. You're going to go into the weekly skill activity folder, and you have 2 questions that you're going to answer. 1, give 3 examples of precipitation. And the second one is, what do you think would happen if precipitation was taken away from the water cycle? Boys and girls, I hope you think about the water cycle. I hope you're starting to see how everything is starting to connect to each other. I hope that you do remember that it is a cycle. There's no start and there's no end point. I hope that you understand the value of the water system and why it's important, the water cycle, and why it is important to our life here on earth. So think about those things and go ahead and review your activity. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and we will review what we learned today, and we'll learn another part of the water cycle. I hope you guys have an excellent and a great afternoon, and I will see some of you again this afternoon for small group instruction. Make sure you bring your interactive journals, and if I don't see you this afternoon, rewatch your video so that you can update your interactive journals. Have a great night, boys and girls, and I'll see you tomorrow.